The Tale of Two Coffees, a morning wake-up call. Picture this. It's a Tuesday morning. You walk into a coffee shop, the smell of roasted beans in the air. You see two people, person A and person B. Person A is laughing with a friend, sharing a story, connecting with the barista, a little bubble of warmth. They're not just buying coffee, they're part of a moment, a tiny community. Person B, meanwhile, orders through an app, headphones on, eyes glued to their phone. They grab their coffee without a word, sit alone, and sip in silence. Both got their coffee, but their experiences couldn't be more different. Person A got a dose of human connection. Person B got just coffee. This scene plays out millions of times a day. We see someone alone and assume they're just busy or private. But what if it's a symptom of something bigger, a quiet problem pulling us apart? It's not about coffee, it's about the space between people. Technology and modern life have made it easy to go a whole day without a real human interaction. We've optimized for convenience, but in the process, we've started to phase out each other. This isn't about being introverted or extroverted. It's about the fundamental human need for connection. What happens when that need isn't met on a massive scale? We've built a world where isolation is the default. The person in the corner, alone with their coffee, is where our story begins. It's a story about the growing distance between us. And it's a story that matters more than we realize. Because when we lose connection, we lose something essential. The warmth, the belonging, the sense of community. These are not luxuries, they're necessities, and we're running low. So what's this hidden problem? It's loneliness. Not just sadness. Loneliness is a public health emergency hiding in plain sight. America, the land of rugged individualism, has become a nation of isolated individuals. We live in houses with fences, drive alone, work alone, and curate our lives online, while feeling utterly alone. This isn't just a feeling, it's a deep ache for connection. It affects teenagers with hundreds of online friends, but no one to sit with at lunch. It affects new parents, the elderly, even CEOs with packed schedules, but no real conversations. Loneliness is the gap between the connection you want and what you have. For millions, that gap is now a chasm. It's a quiet crisis. Its victims suffer in silence, thinking it's their fault. But they're not alone. They're part of a vast invisible crowd, all feeling the same thing. And it's time we saw them. If loneliness is so big, why don't we talk about it? It's not dramatic or newsworthy. It's a slow, creeping issue, like a leaky faucet you learn to ignore. There's shame attached to it. Admitting you're lonely feels like failing at being human. In a culture obsessed with success and popularity, loneliness feels like a personal flaw. Nobody posts a selfie captioned, "Just finished my third frozen pizza alone." Our leaders don't talk about it because it's hard to solve. You can't pass a "let's all be friends" bill. It's a cultural problem, not just a policy one. Easier to talk about roads and taxes than fixing our social fabric. We also misdiagnose it. Loneliness hides behind depression, anxiety, addiction. Doctors treat the symptoms, not the root cause. It's like limping from a rock in your shoe, but only getting painkillers. Loneliness is the rock in our collective shoe. We've been limping for a long time. It's time to name the problem and start talking about it. Still skeptical? Let's look at the numbers. Before the pandemic, half of American adults reported measurable loneliness, over 160 million people. Imagine if half the country had the flu at once. The US Surgeon General says the health risks of chronic loneliness are like smoking 15 cigarettes a day. We warn about cigarettes. Where are the warnings about isolation? Loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and dementia by huge margins. This isn't just a social issue, it's a physiological one. Feeling disconnected puts our bodies in constant stress. And it's not just the elderly. Young people, ages 18 to 24, are the loneliest group in America. The most connected generation is also the most isolated. Digital connections are like junk food for our social appetite, filling but not nourishing. The numbers are clear. We're in a serious health crisis, and it's not going away on its own. We need to pay attention, because the cost is too high, and it's rising. Every election, we debate the big issues: economy, healthcare, climate change. But loneliness is the hidden force making all those problems worse. The economy isn't just about jobs, it's about the loss of workplace community and daily purpose. The gig economy offers flexibility, but also isolation. No colleagues, no camaraderie. Healthcare, loneliness drives up doctor visits, hospital stays, and costs for everyone. Reducing loneliness is preventative medicine we're ignoring. And our political divisions? Loneliness fuels polarization. Without real-world social ties, it's easy to fall into digital tribes and lose empathy. Rebuilding our social fabric isn't just nice, it's essential for democracy. Loneliness isn't a separate issue, it's the cracked foundation beneath all the others. If we want to fix the big problems, we have to start here, because everything else depends on it, and we can't afford to ignore it. Loneliness isn't contained, it spreads like a virus, touching every part of life and society. A lonely person is less productive, more likely to take sick days, less creative. Multiply that by millions, and it drags down national productivity and innovation. Socially disconnected people don't volunteer, join the PTA, or coach soccer. They don't know their neighbors, so communities become weaker and less safe. This decline in social capital erodes trust and resilience. Loneliness is expensive, billions spent on healthcare, lost productivity, and social services. It's a quiet tax draining resources from schools, infrastructure, and research. And it affects our children. Kids of lonely parents miss out on social modeling. Schools cut programs where kids learn to connect. We're raising a generation in a less nourishing environment. The ripples of today's loneliness will be felt for generations, unless we act now. The problem is huge, but the solution starts small, with you. You don't have to fix everything. Just mend one thread in the social fabric. Start with your phone. Next time you're waiting somewhere, keep it in your pocket. Look around, make eye contact, maybe even smile. It'll feel weird, but it's a start. You're signaling you're present and open to connection. Reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. Don't just send a meme, ask how they're really doing. Make a plan to meet up, even if it's just for coffee. Small, consistent efforts to maintain connections are powerful. You might be the lifeline someone else needs. Find your third place, a gym, church, book, park, or coffee shop. Go regularly. Become a regular. Learn people's names. These shared spaces are the incubators of community. We need to use them. The goal isn't to be surrounded by people 24/7. It's to make sure no one feels invisible or alone. You can start today, and it matters more than you think. Individual actions matter, but leaders need to step up too. Government, start measuring social connection like unemployment or GDP. Invest in social infrastructure, fund libraries, parks, community centers, after-school programs. Design neighborhoods for people, not just cars, sidewalks, porches, shared spaces. Business, treat employees as humans, not just resources. Encourage real connection at work. Lunch breaks, creative team building, real camaraderie. A less lonely workforce is healthier and more productive. Schools, bring back the social curriculum. Teach empathy, cooperation, and communication. Protect recess, support clubs, teach kids how to be good friends. In a digital world, real-world connection is an essential life skill. We teach math and history. Let's teach connection too. It's not a soft skill, it's survival. Where do we go from here? The path out isn't a highway. It's a winding road we rebuild together. The desire for connection is in our DNA. We haven't lost it. We've just buried it. America's story is one of reinvention. We can face this too. The battleground is in our neighborhoods, workplaces, and hearts. Every time you choose connection over isolation, you win a small victory. Smile at a stranger, call a friend, join a club, help a neighbor. You're casting a vote for a more connected world. The goal isn't to eliminate solitude, it's to ensure no one feels invisible or forgotten. Rebuild a society where we belong to something larger than ourselves. Today, let's start looking up from our screens and seeing each other again. The road ahead is long, but we don't have to walk it alone. In fact, the whole point is that we shouldn't. Let's find each other again.